Hello, race fans. Welcome back. Hopefully, we get started the right way this time. As I was saying, it's Pro Tier Monday night with CCRL, and it has been a few races since we have been together to watch a Pro Tier event. I'm glad we're back after the break. With me, as always, in the commentary box is Trackside. How you doing tonight, bud?
Hey, I'm doing well. I'm excited to be racing. Pro Tier is going to be good tonight. I think Spa always puts on a good race, so should be good.
It's a Spa is a test your metal track, right? It's one of the I think most difficult circuits to do well, and Eau Rouge is just this hungry race destroyer, right? That ends at least one person's night prematurely.
Yeah, no doubt. It's a monster that is willing to be tamed by those who are willing to not lift that right foot through and are okay with a little bit of traction loss.
You gotta be, you gotta be, you gotta float like a butterfly through Eau Rouge,
Yeah, or
right?
you'll get stung like a bee.
Yeah, yeah, it does seem to work like that because Eau Rouge is just this. It's like it's almost like a game of chicken with yourself,
Yeah.
you know, because you can't lift, right? If you're gonna fight for first place, you can't lift. But if you really want to stay on track and you're not as good as the best of the best, you lift.
Just ever so
I still
slightly.
lift, just just that touch, right? But you pay for it all the way down the Kimmel Straight. And Spa, man, Spa just rewards that nervy driving. Hard brakes into the bus stop, really taking a lot of speed through Lake Holmes and braving Eau Rouge every time. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm looking forward to watching a race
Yeah,
in
I can tell.
Spa.
I can tell, and we talked a little bit before the race that you hadn't even seen this weekend's F1 race, so I'm sure
Mm.
you are jonesing.
Yeah, jonesing's the right word, right? I have a problem. And nah, just too busy this weekend to sit down. I was too busy to even set my lineup and grid.
Oh,
And when I
I might have caught
realized
you.
it, oh, yeah, I'm pissed about that actually. Is I I got the message on my Reddit. It was like it was telling me who had placed what in qualifying, and I realized I forgot to put my grid. Anyways, enough of that. It is Pro Tier here in Spa. They're all out for qualifying right away. Let's find somebody, maybe De Boonster. We'll just ride along with him. And we should jump into, because this is now the fifth race of the season. And we should jump in and take a look at the point situation as it stands right now.
Yeah, let's take a look real quick. Hayden still sitting at the top of the charts. He's been officially moved to the elite tier, I believe. Him and Rujoff, if I'm not mistaken. So does that mean Shashir now leads the pro tier?
Oh, I think that may be 1 week old because I think Merck now leads the Pro Tier division, and Rujoff and Hayden, I'm pretty sure they've been removed from the
Oh,
list.
you know what? You might be right. Let's see if I have an update here, just real quick.
I mean, they were uh, Hayden and Rujoff as advertised. We expected them to be pretty forceful, and they have been winning races here in Pro Tier. That's for sure.
Yep, you are absolutely correct, Dresden. And there we've got the updated driver standings up there. So Merck sitting at the top right now with 77 points. Just behind him, Koma Copa sitting in second with 53. Tied with Shashir actually for second. Both of those drivers sitting on 53 points. Tragic Magic sitting in fourth right now with 28, and then it gets pretty tight from there on out. Abdul Rahman just 2 points behind in fifth. Bong It in sixth with 22. The Natural in seventh with 20. Dan King sitting with 16, and just behind him, Tarzan with 14. Funky Hell rounding out the top 10, I believe, there with 13. So it's all pretty close.
So Merck, we've seen him be pretty fast. And interestingly has retired already here in Spa. Maybe there's some leftover incidents that I did not dive into. I always forget something before we start the race, but Merck having retired already, I wonder if he has to sit out. But I'm very interested in that battle over second place. Shashir, who's not on the grid this evening, frustrating. Is he?
Yeah, Shashir's on. He's on his.
There he is.
Yeah, he's on his out lap.
Okay.
Yep. And update
on
Merck.
I was checking the orange.
Oh yeah.
I was looking in the McLaren.
Yeah.
That was my problem.
Update on Merck. He was adjusting some settings or something in the pause menu, leaving the pits and hit the wall. So.
Oh man. Okay. So not an enforcement action. Just man, you get very punished in racing, which is I think a thing I love. You get punished in racing for the tiniest mistakes. You really you have to be present every single moment, or it can have big consequences.
Yeah, no doubt. It's the smallest things that can really just take you out of the race.
Yeah. The time. Yeah, Merck will let you know that for sure. Times rolling in. We got a 44.8 from Abdul, a 45 flat from Dutch Verstappen. The Boonster has a 45.3, as does Tragic Magic, and then it's a fairly big step back to the Natural, who heads up in the 46 range there. So Shashir is on grid. He's in a Mercedes. I need to remember that. Him and Komakopa, that just seems like two guys that you would expect to be racing around each other, given what we've seen from both of them, and they're tied in the points. So we'll be looking for maybe some fireworks between the two of them.
Yeah, and with Merck out of this qualification session, I would imagine those two, once they set a time, will probably go to the top of the grid.
Yeah, well, so now some big intrigue, right? Merck just, we'll call it mechanical error, right?
Yeah.
The car busted up. That's what's going on there. He's like Sergio Perez in Monaco, I think. And so Merck is out, and he'll have to fight his way from the back of the grid. So that could be fun. And since he leads the points, this is a big opportunity for those two second-place drivers. Then Komakopa and Shashir looking to capitalize, you would think.
Yeah, and Komakopa getting a lap in. He's only up to sixth. Shashir on his out lap now, or on his fast lap. So we'll see as he comes through the bus stop if he's able to capitalize.
Looks pretty clean through the bus stop. Coming to the line now and comes in at a 45.6. So he's got 6/10 over Coma, but some time to find if he's going to be near the front of the grid.
And we've got, looks like Reimer, one of our elite guys in the chat tonight, rooting for Team Journey.
For Team Journey. Yeah, that seems fair. I guess you could like bring your construction cup biases, right?
Oh yeah, I love it.
Pro tier. Yeah, that's fun.
Root your team members on.
It's fun. Yeah, so man, I do hope, I really do want a good race, but it can be hard to do in Spa. Spa's much more difficult, I think, than it gets credit for. And really, it's one of those races. It's kind of like it has a Singapore effect on the grid. Tends to spread things out, right? Unless people are really dialed in.
Yeah, it's such a long lap that we're gonna see, probably a pretty big delta between the pole time and whoever's back there in 13th. Could be a 5-6 seconds.
Yeah, it can be a pretty wide margin. So, man, let's see. Names on grid. Dan King, we've seen him before, but I don't remember much. Still trying to get to know everybody on the pro tier grid as well. And after taking almost a month off, it's man, it's gonna be like getting to know people again.
Yeah, some of these guys we just haven't seen racing enough to really build a portfolio for, as far as what their racecraft looks like, overall pace, and things like that. But then we've got very familiar guys like Komakopa, Shashir, Bonget, who we can really kind of use as a thermometer.
Yeah, and still a lot left on season 2, where the top 3 spots will be going into pro tier, so a lot to vie for up at the top. I'm on board with Abdul right now as he's coming through the Kimmel Strait. Interested to see if he can actually improve this pole lap that he's on. Coming in almost dead even through sector 1.
He's not using very much of the curbs. Seems like he's leaving maybe a little bit of time on the track here.
Yeah, you can get pretty aggressive through Lake Holmes. That turn right there, I hate that turn. The one just before the downhill braking zone of Pool Home. That little left flick, I never seemed comfortable there. There goes Tragic Magic with a new pole time by just the skin of his teeth, an 8.44, 500ths faster than Abdul.
And Abdul just kind of doing a personal best. Well, no, he's gone purple through sector 2.
Yeah, but nearly matching his previous lap. So this 44.8, that's pretty locked in from Abdul, and that usually translates into good race pace. Through the bus stop and across the line, can he take it back? He does, finding 2/10 in sector 3. Abdul jumping back in front for pole at the moment.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Verstappen did not like. Yeah, Dutch Verstappen did not like his lap. He's straight into the pits. I believe it will be one of the Mercedes, maybe Coma, to the line next. No, he's into the. No, he will come. No, he's starting a lap now. All right, I'm on board with 7 Coma. Let's go, McLaren. Where is Shashir? We have a time for him.
He's up in
5th place. Yeah.
Nearly a second to make up on the leaders.
Almost exactly 1 second. Coma sector 1 time on the board now. It is almost 30.5.
Almost identical to his first lap.
So a bit slower than competitive there. Maybe he has a fair amount of downforce. We'll see some time get made up in sector 2. Feels good around Pull Home. It's hard to say, like, I think Pool Home and Eau Rouge got to be the most difficult. Komakopa, though, has found 4/10 on this lap, and he needs it. Back in 9th place, he at least wants to catch up to Shashir.
Yeah, that's going to put him at least fighting for 5th with Shashir. Those two guys seem to be intertwined at the moment.
I mean, and that's who I want to see fighting on track at the moment. They're tied for 2nd place. to the line comes Copa. Is going to jump up and does just edge out Shashir. Finds some more time there in Sector 3 and finishes up with a 45.3. So not bad there.
So it looks like we've got a new fan in the chat rooting for Tragic Magic. We appreciate you stopping by, Fatty Nugs.
Love it, Fatty Nugs. Let's go Tragic. He's putting up pretty good time. A 44.8's pretty decent in Spa, and he's battling back and forth with Abdul for pole position right now.
So it looks like we've got Shashir, De Boonster, and Dutch Verstappen all getting ready to start a fast lap here with 2 minutes to go in qualifying.
Man, the qualifying doesn't last long. Qualifying just goes by so fast.
Well, I think that's the point of it, right?
Yeah. Let's see here. Who do we want? I think I want to see Shashir's lap
Okay.
in the McLaren. He's coming through Stavilo now. Yeah, if there's one track I want to actually drive, like if I don't know, I ended up winning $1 billion lottery tomorrow, and they're, you know, because billionaires, you could probably line something like that up, right? Like I can rent out Spa for a day.
Oh, yeah.
So I think it's got to be Spa. That's the track I actually want to drive.
Huh.
Shashir's lap start now. He's coming through La Source and on the gas.
Well, let me ask you this, Drez. Would you want to do it in the rain?
No.
I asked that because I'm getting some information that tonight's race may be rain affected.
Really?
So could throw a little twist in twist in your
huge
tea.
Twist. Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty big twist, actually. This is probably the last track I'd want to try to drive quickly in the rain.
I enjoy it. I actually do enjoy rain on this track.
Oh man. Oh, because there's there's a lot of downhill braking.
I think for guys who like to run higher downforce setups, a rain track is like a dream come true.
Oh yeah, should be a big boost if you've gone with the I want to stick to the Spa track setup rather than the I want to be racing down the Kimmel Straight setup.
Yeah, if you're set up for Sector 2, you're going to be just fine in the rain.
Yeah.
Oh,
Boonster, look at this.
Where did
with a
that come
pole
from?
lap. His time expires a 44.3 from the Boonster in Ferrari, and now Shashir's lap coming to a close. I don't think he's gonna be pushing for pole, but can he find an improvement? No, 2/10 down. He is done. Who's next across the
Abdul
line?
is improving on his lap.
Okay, let's watch with him. Can he get pole back to Boonster out of nowhere? And I think that's some improvement from the Boonster. Have we seen him in pole before?
I don't believe so.
That does not ring a bell to me.
All right, so through campus is Abdul will get a time. Oh, wide coming out of campus. We're going to get a Sector 2 time here. He's still improving, only just.
Oh! He sniped him.
Oh, God.
He sniped him. Is the natural still? No, his natural's lap is eliminated, so that is it. We apologize to Abdul. That is definitely a commentator's curse if I ever saw one.
Well, and if you want to see a miracle, I guarantee you his crew's going to have that car ready for race time. So,
yeah, that's a good crew. Good crew right there. So it's the Boonster on pole. Congratulations, Ferrari. The Boonster No, I'm sorry, Alfa Romeo. So go to Boonster. He takes pole with a 44.3, 3/10 faster than the rest of the field. A pretty good effort there. Joining him on the first row is Abdul Rahman in the Alpine. Tragic Magic lines up alongside Dutch Verstappen. That's your second row. Third row will be Koma Copa and Bong It. Fifth row is Shashir and the Naturals. That's your first 5 rows. A fairly large split. Now, what I'm interested in is Shashir and Coma. They're separated by 2/10, so that's not too bad. The two of them battling over first place. And we've got to watch Merck. He's our points leader for Pro Tier. Had an incident coming out of the pit lane, and we'll start this session from the back of the field.
Yeah.
And man, if it rains, that's going to hurt Merck really bad.
I believe so. It's not impossible to pass around Spa. You can pass here. It's a very power demanding circuit, but the rain is going to equalize everything here tonight.
You're absolutely right on the forecast. It's already starting out. This looks like an intermediate, like it's going to be an intermediate start for us.
Absolutely.
So that throws tires on its side, right? Because once you have a rain compound on, you don't need any other compound.
That's true.
Right. So if they don't have to switch, will intermediates go for a full 50? You think?
No, I don't.
50%.
Maybe if it dries out.
It dries out a little bit. Man. So we're going to get some interesting strategy tonight.
Yep.
And a big opportunity for anybody trying to catch up to Merck. He's going to have a hard time coming through the field, you would think.
Yeah, and there's probably going to be a safety car, if I had to guess, around here tonight with the rain. So we'll see if he can use that to his advantage. Right now, we're just waiting on everybody to get their race strategies set up. Should we take a look at the track, Drez?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So we'll while these guys are getting in, we'll head in. There's a sunny picture of Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. Obviously, it's raining tonight, but it's 44 laps around this 4.35 mile track. It's long, fast, and hilly. There will be overtaking out of the Eau Rouge and Radion section. Even in a wet track, we will see overtaking out of Radion. For those who are brave enough to keep the go pedal pinned through 2 and 3, we will also see hard braking into turn 5 through Les Combes. That opens up for some overtaking possibilities. Also, we have turns 18 and 19, the bus stop chicane. The final corner of the lap offers the last chance to make a move before the DRS opens and the lap ends. Obviously, we won't get DRS until this rain clears up, but tires are out of the question today, even though we are bringing Pirelli's medium compound, the C4 soft, the C3 medium, and the C2 hard, as we head into Spa-Francorchamps for this Grand Prix this evening. And like Drez said, those tire combinations and starting tires aren't really going to matter unless this rain goes away.
Yeah. I wonder which compound they make the intermediate tire out of.
What do you mean?
I think it's just the hardest. Well, I mean,
It's a totally different kind of rubber.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
I figured it might be like the hard tire of whatever it is that they happen to be bringing the hard tire that weekend. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's a different compound of rubber.
That's neat.
And I believe even the intermediate and the full wet are different compound. It's not just a different in treads.
Wow. Yeah, I just assumed treads, right? Dug into a hard, you know what I mean? And then they paint the side green. There's just a never-ending, like, there's so much to learn about F1, right? If you really try to dig into it and like, talk about it competently, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and here's
It's just a never-ending
here's one to boot. The
stuff to learn.
regulation changes every year, so try keeping up year to
Yeah,
year.
that's a full-time job.
For some people, yeah.
So De Boonster, eager to show what he's capable of in Spa, and a respectable time on the board. We'll see what he can do in the wet. Tragic Magic lining up and bringing his fans tonight. I think he must have known he's good at Spa and decided that he would let his fans know tonight's the night to come watch.
Yeah,
So I'm glad we're back for that.
well, and if he's good at Spa, maybe with that Tragic Magic, he may have done a little voodoo to get the rain to come down tonight.
So, Boonster and Magic, man, can we? I'm not sure where Boonster is on the points total, and let's just take a look. Can we do that real quick? Let's look at Boonster and Magic, where they're at in the points championship.
Yeah, so
thus far.
Boonster is sitting down, not 14th. I know it says 14th, but like 12th.
Yeah. So outside the top 10 for Boonster and Magic. Yeah, I think he's
Magic's
inside the top
in
10
the
now.
he's sitting fourth currently. So, but
Fourth place,
yeah,
he was pretty high up.
Boonster carrying 8 points right now with and any podium finish for him would really change the standings quite a bit.
Yeah. So Boonster, I think, just showing up tonight and bringing some heat. I'm interested to see if he can sustain it for the whole race. That's when the points really start to roll in. Is when you can do a really good qualifying 22 times in a row. You know.
Yeah.
That's when it starts to roll in.
And I wouldn't say, I mean, it's wet. I can see drops coming down, but the track looks damp. I wouldn't say we could go to dries maybe once a line gets carved in. We'll see.
Yeah, well, we'll be watching. They are taking the field now for the 5th race here in Pro Tier. Spa, always a good one, but today in the wet. Watch for Merck. He's in the back. He's the points leader. He's going to need to come through the field. We are ready to go. It is 1, 2, 3. Here we go. And with Coma Copa, very, very good start, as is Tragic Magic. They will both be challenging De Boonster around turn 1, and there goes Tragic into the lead. He takes over from Boonster. Coma Copa slips into 3rd, and it's Chashire with a good start for Mercedes. He is up into 4th as well. Looks like we're all through turn 1 and heading through a very wet Eau Rouge. Some a Red Bull here, Dutch Verstappen, struggling with the track limits there, it looked like.
Yeah, and things were a bit dicey.
Go ahead.
Just catching. Looks like we've got a maybe 3 cars involved now. Make that, yeah. The natural kind of weaving his way through all that.
I just jumped on board with them to watch him driving around stricken cars. And man, so a wet Eau Rouge claiming 3 right off the bat. That's a race destroyer if there ever was one.
Yeah, and we can, where it looks like we're under a full safety here, Drez. We can take a look at that start again just real quick.
I love that.
Well, I'm going to bring it up, but it's, I've lost my, give us just a second, folks. I was ready, and then I wasn't ready.
Look, you've been adding so much stuff, right? The replays and the chat and everything. Like, the stream just gets better every week, but like practicing your stream ninja skills while you also have to pay attention to me, right? Because I want to talk to somebody. It's just a lot,
Yeah, and
man.
I've been rusty because
I feel
we've
for
been
you.
on and off the past few
Eh,
weeks.
Yeah.
So
We
here,
took a month off,
so
man.
here's a replay we've got of the
Yes.
start. We'll take a look here, and heading down into turn one. It looks like who was that on the inside? Maybe Bong it. Got into Dutch Verstappen and then into Komakopa, who got it from behind a little bit, and then it just Constantinered as everyone else entered through turn one. So I think that's just your classic wet pile up in turn one.
Yeah. Man, tough one. I mean, it's one of the really slow turn ones, and they just like any of the slow turn ones where there's just everybody's fighting for that apex. You can kind of run into trouble there. So our first full safety car here in Spa, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say we're probably gonna have at least one more. You know, Spa tends to generate safety cars. You know.
Well, and on these intermediates, the tires are cooling down, and then once we get restarted, starting on cold intermediates on a damp track is just asking for another accident.
Yeah, well, it won't be a standing start, but Eau Rouge, man, I can still hear that turn laughing in my headset right now. It's gobbled up 3 racers in one lap, and you can tell it's still hungry. So intermediates look like they're good for 11 to 17. That's the predicted strategy. So we will see, I think, some pitting if the conditions remain the same.
Well, and we've got some, the more laps behind the safety car, and something a regulation I am not familiar with, Drez, is if we're on wet tires, then we don't need to do 2 compounds, so there's no need for a pit. So these guys could stretch it out with a no stop.
Yeah, so the strategy completely up in the air. You could see somebody go for something wild, so we'll be looking for that. Lap 2 under the safety car now, and state of the race, it's Tragic taking over from the Boonster around turn 1. A clean pass for Tragic, just got off the line a little bit quicker. Komakopa and Shashir, the 2 guys tied for 2nd place, and here in Pro Tier, they're right next to each other on track 3 and 4. We're going to be paying attention there. They need to be careful because Dutch Verstappen, a pretty decent driver, is right slotted in behind them. Meanwhile, down at the back, our points leader, Merck, is made up, well, by virtue of 3 people being eliminated in 1 pass. He is into the points. But a lot of work left to do there, I think.
Yeah, yep. It's not going to be easy for Merck. Got a few more people in the chat, Drez. We've got Leisig tonight watching. One of our elite tier, very quick guys in elite tier. And then we've got, and I'm going to butcher it, and I'm so sorry. And maybe you can help me out in the chat. Corrali Delavad, maybe? Komakopa. It's somebody close to Komakopa. I know that. So maybe a girlfriend or wife. I'm not sure. Thank you all for being here.
I gotta say, yeah, I love the chat, right? Because I usually I usually make time to rewatch the race at least once, especially if it was a good race, like last Wednesday, because I rewatched that one right away. But I usually rewatch the race at least once because you have to, because you got to keep the races in your head. You've got to like experience them a couple of times.
Yeah.
And man, when you see the chat and people rooting for the people, it just it makes me feel good. I like that stuff. So, all right, so here we go. I'm hoping we get the safety car in, and man, do I want to see some battling here in the wet.
And I'm glad we did not lose. We've had a position change for the lead, but Tragic Magic and the Boonster still up there in front. I'm curious as to what their pace looks like.
I want to see Boonster grab himself a whole heaping pile of points after taking his first pole. Man, I'm here for it. Coma, Shashir, Dutch, don't count them out. I think any one of those guys could win this race as well. Merck got a lot of work to do.
Safety car is going to be in this lap.
Okay, good. Tarzan, Mazda guy, Dan King, all having really good starts. They're up 4 and 5. Merck up 4 as well. So let's head up. We'll watch from the Boonster, I think. Coma behind, Tragic Magic ahead. On lap 3 here in Spa, we are about to get racy again. Just waiting for Magic to pull the trigger.
Oh.
Yeah, just a little little detour there for a second, man. And a nice, like, little confusing move because he's off and running and has a decent start. And oh man, a very deep Red Bull missing his braking line by a mile. I don't think he took anybody out, but a dangerous entry into turn 1, and looks like we're all accounted for though here up at the front.
Yeah, we were on board with the Boonster going in there and felt a boom from behind, but did not get to see exactly what happened.
Yeah, hopefully that Alfa Romeo does not have any diffuser damage. We're interested in watching a straight up fight between him and the rest of the top of the field. And man, this track is drying very quickly. If we don't see somebody into the pit this lap, I'll be shocked.
Yeah, exactly. I think that probably would have done someone a favor to pit under the safety car for dry or slick tires.
Yeah, it dried very quickly. Like it felt over the course of one, and I'm waiting to see if there's any part of the race. Like I see, it's coming through campus right now, and I'm still getting rain droplets here. So maybe part of the track drying and other parts still a little wet. We'll see as we come around to the pits.
Yeah, just a few drops though. I think you can still get away with slicks on this dress.
Yeah, look, staring at this, I'll be surprised if we see the whole field go by. There'll be at least one into the pits. Watching Tragic straight in and followed by Boonster and Shashir as well. Who stays out? Anyone? No, Shashir does stay out. So Shashir is going to do one more lap, but man, do we have a lot of pitting. So going to pit lane, I'm on board with Tragic, just watching to see if he has any issues here.
So the medium tire goes on.
Yeah, I would think mediums, maybe hards.
We got a soft Tarzan on softs.
Tarzan, yeah. Softs seems like I wouldn't want to stop again. Hards for sure go to the end, right? Mediums may have a bit of a struggle in the last few laps, but I would think they go to the end too. It looks like Magic is out and got a pretty big boost. He's 1.8 ahead of Boonster already through this changeover. So Tragic Magic looking to have a strong grip on this race lead.
We should be able to see right away through this sector too if this was the right choice to go onto these tires.
Yeah, so I'm going to jump back to, we got a fight going on. Action 7, it's Coma and Tarzan next to each other, but looks like one of them's ghosted. Okay, Tarzan appears to be an AI, never mind there. But notice something here, Merck in 5th place already through the changeover of tires has managed to gain a lot of places somehow. We missed what happened there.
Yeah, that is interesting because assuming he would have pit with everyone else.
Yeah, he must have had a really good pit stop and made some passes there on the in lap that we missed. Shashir and Dan both opting to pit this lap. They were going to rejoin pretty far back. Hopefully, Shashir will still be near Comacopa. We do want to see that fight.
Yep.
So lap 6. Tragic Magic leads, but the Boonster found 5/10 that lap.
So Shashir coming out on the hards.
I don't hate it, right? I mean, especially if the mediums really suffer towards the end, those hard runners are gonna feel pretty good about that choice.
Yeah, for sure. Hards go the rest of the way. Mediums could be a gamble.
If you get one more safety car, I'd feel very comfortable about mediums.
Did I see? I could have swore I saw some more raindrops coming down.
Yeah, through the second half of Sector 2, it's still spitting a little bit. You can see it on the I'm always on the TV pod, so you can see it on the camera itself. Yeah, just before you get to Stavolo and through the second part of campus, there's still a little rain coming down. I'm on board Actions 2. Boonster is clawing back time away from Tragic Magic. Or was, at least through Sector 2 he was. Other fights. Let's check in Action 9. Verstappen on the back of the natural in the McLaren.
Getting very close.
Yeah, quite tucked underneath into the bus stop here. And DRS is activated, so we're fully racing at this point.
So that tells me it's no longer raining. The track is completely dry. So
yeah, track completely dry. Merck making the most of it. He's made his way from the back of the field all the way into third place. He's now 2.1 behind the Boonster, who's now, like, Magic saw Boonster coming and looks like he's turned on the speed now. He's gained back more time than he lost to the Boonster and seems to be pulling away. I'm still on board with Verstappen, watching to see if he can catch up to the natural here.
he's definitely got some better looking lines through this part of the track, does Dutch Verstappen.
Yeah. And we've seen Verstappen, I like this. We've seen Verstappen be pretty decent. Haven't we?
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's world champion material, but he's all right.
He's decent. Here he is, quite tucked underneath, actually needing to lift as he follows natural through Stavolo. And man, if he can just get in that approach right when he needs it, having to step on the brake has cost him quite a bit of time. He'll have to find it again before the Kimmel Straight, he would hope.
Well, he might have to move our attention up to Merck. He's just at the fastest lap, and he's now half a second behind the Boonster.
Yeah, Magic definitely has the race pace over Boonster here. He's 3.4 ahead. Meanwhile, Merck has caught up and down the Kimmel Straight. It is looking like the Haas driver's gonna be easily ahead, heading into Lake Holmes. Oh, bit deep on the brake there. Will Boonster be able to fight back? Does not appear.
Yeah, that's one
Merck
thing
is
you can
through,
do.
and now
That's one thing you can do is go heavy on the brakes into Lacombe's, because there's such a back and forth movement that you're really doing well to defend through that corner.
Yeah, that's true. So, but Merck definitely has the race pace over his competitor here, already now a second ahead. And maybe Boonster picked up some body damage, right? Because he put in a pole effort, but he seems to be falling back fairly significantly here in the middle section of this race. Oh, we've got a problem. Tragic Magic has found the edge of the wall around Stavilo, a big spin, and I think may have lost some wing. Yeah, it's got wing damage as well.
Ouch. So the pressure, I think, maybe just got to him a little bit there as he came through Stavilo, and yeah, now missing a wing plate, he's gonna have to pit.
Gonna have to pit, so it's gotten tragic for Tragic Magic. That is unfortunate. This pit stop gonna cost him pretty significantly. I think you throw more mediums on at this point if you have them.
He's opted for the hard.
Yeah, has to go to the hards now. Well, unfortunate for Magic, and man, is he still going to be in the points? Is he coming out ahead of... No, Tarzan is into the pits himself, so Tragic Magic will remain in the points, and that's just, man, from first all the way back to 10th from that one spin. Now, honestly, he looked lucky to still have a wheel on.
Yeah.
To my mind.
That could have been a lot uglier.
The car was parked. Yeah. Yeah, so when just went action 6, it does look like Verstappen has found his way through the natural. So he is ahead and into 5th place.
So the natural, Shashir, and Komakopa all up positions right now from their starting position. And your race leader up 13 positions from his starting position.
So Merck, from the back of the field, has made his way all the way to first place. And I think maybe the last 5 were legitimate passes on track. So really good job there from the Haas driver.
Yep, the farthest anyone's ever come back to win a race here in Belgium was 16th. So he's not setting records tonight, but he's looking pretty damn good. Oh, as I say that, the Naturals parked it on the front straightaway.
Frustrating. Not losing any places. It looks like Dan King just a little bit too far back to punish that mistake. And Boonster's pace, like, even though he hasn't been able to hold on to first place after setting that pole, his pace is legitimately decent. Right? He's holding on to Merck, and he's putting a pretty decent sized gap back to Komakopa and Shashir.
Yeah, Komakopa's kind of, again, just been Johnny on the spot, found his way into a podium position again so far, but not making up any time to these top 2 guys.
Yeah, it does look like Boonster and Merck are in a bit of a race of their own. At least Boonster can keep Merck honest. We'll keep our fingers crossed for that. I'm action 5 at the moment. We've got a fight developing between Verstappen and Shashir. As we head into campus.
And this could be a very good fight. These guys, I would say, probably very equally paced.
Yeah, good, fair rivalries. I mean, at every stage in your racing journey, just the privilege of having somebody who's right at your level to fight. That's what you're hoping for. And Verstappen following Shashir fast down the straight, it looks like, but Verstappen quick through the bus stop, follows 4.5 behind as we head down to turn 1. Oh man, a bit close there, wasn't it? Shashier is hard on the brakes around turn one, almost caught Verstappen not paying attention. Ooh, Verstappen keeping his foot to the floor through Eau Rouge and gaining on Shashier down the Kimmel Straight, but it's not looking like it's going to be enough this go round. Tragic is making his way back through the field, up from 10th and now into 8th. We'll keep an eye there because he may be challenging Mazda guy fairly soon.
And Dutch Verstappen is using all of the track very well. You can see his lines through sector 2. You can tell this is a track he's very comfortable with.
And he's got under braking. He seems to be like, I think he's just expecting different braking style from the car ahead of him. And but deep through Stavolo, that's gonna cost him. The entry there into the first half of Stavolo was a bit late on the turn in, we'll say, and now pretty far back through Blanchimont.
Moved back to Bong it. He's go ahead.
I was gonna say Tragic has found his way into 7th place.
And I think
about Bong it.
Bong it may be just behind him, looking to overtake George Mazda guy.
Okay, actually not. I want to see one side by side through Blanchimont. Is that too much to ask for? Just one. It doesn't happen that often, right? We were talking in the last race in Hungary about side by sides through turn 4, right?
We've got to move up to 4th. We've got Dutch Verstappen and Shashier side by side as they go through Lake Holmes.
Oh, and a spin. Go ahead.
It was too good to be true. It looked like Shashier was given enough room, but I couldn't tell to see if it was just a throttle issue for Dutch Verstappen or what.
Yeah. Side by side through Lake Holmes. I'd bet a tap somewhere. It's usually a racing incident, but and we've got at least a VSC going on right now.
Yeah, I wonder
for what though. I'm just cycling through, looking at wings. There it is. Looks like George Mazda guy is missing the front end of that Red Bull. And it does appear Tarzan has been disconnected completely. I think he's been an AI for a little bit. Merc into the pits, 8 laps on the mediums, and opting for new tires under the safety car. That is a fairly big call. It gives the Boonster the lead back. And Coma goes through on hard. Shashier, you would think, will stay out. He does as well. Will all 3 of them find their way ahead?
Yeah, I think that's a good call from Merck. He's bolted on some fresh mediums. He's only back in 3rd, and he knows he's got the pace, and especially on new tires.
Yeah, but not a full safety car, right? Just a VSC, so he is saving some time. Oh, bong it. Punished. And right at the end of the VSC, so you know he was just trying to gun the end. He's just trying to time it. And man, got a drive-through for his efforts there. So an interesting call, because now, 10 laps to go and 14 seconds to make up. He does have the fresh mediums, but that means Merck is going to have to get it done on track. Boonster, I think, would be celebrating right now. He really does seem to have a chance at victory. What do you think?
I don't know. I think Merck, with the pace he's had, he's going to be able to make up that time.
He's going to have to get to work. he's got less than He's got 9.5 laps to do it, and man, he does. I think he's found a second. It's 13.3 right at the 13.4 at the moment is the gap between Merck and Boonster, and that's the gap we're paying attention to here. Lap 14 of 22. Now we got a race. Let's check in. And so we're gonna watch that gap, especially like we'll watch it this lap. So how he needs more than a second per lap. So he does need to get to work. And let's head in and check in with Verstappen chasing.
Oh, and bong it into the pits.
7. Or was chasing. Yeah, oh, he's serving that drive-through. So never mind there. Where else? Oh, we're pretty spread out. We're fairly spread out at the moment. Let's jump on board with Merck. He has made a ton of time through the first half of this lap. I think those tires.
Yeah, they're in the window, and the mediums of Boonster probably will start to degrade here in the next couple laps as well. I think his biggest battle is going to be Comacopa, and if he can clear Comacopa, then he can get to work.
Yeah, well, the Alfa Romeo team is going over and telling the McLaren team, like, rooting them on, right, to put up a good fight. You would think. Like, just hold them back for a lap or two. That's all we're asking for. I can hear McLaren asking them. So, man, almost 3 seconds. He found that lap, and doesn't look like Comacopa's gonna be able to put up much of a fight. We are side by side briefly before we get to the bus stop. Deep on the brakes is Coma, and a little shove there as they come through the bus stop. Very fair looking to me. And
yeah, and significantly, Merck had to take evasive action, has picked up a 3-second penalty for cutting that corner. So he's added to the work he's got to do now.
Yeah, so found 3 seconds, lost 3 seconds. It's not so dead even now through Eau Rouge. A very good exit and a nice little switch to the inside. Gonna be well ahead into Lake Holmes. Merck now sets his sight on the Boonster. Lap 15 of 22. Merck has made it interesting. A late dive for new tires leaves 10 seconds plus a 3-second penalty to work on, and Boonster may have a race win after all if he can keep his nose clean, especially. Man, if I was on his engineering team, I'd be telling him 95% pace and no mistakes, because you're gonna need tires towards the end of the race, and you need all the penalty help you can get.
Yeah, I think even if he can just keep the nose clean, you know, if Merck catches him, he's gonna have to have used all his tires at that point, and you just gotta hold him back till that last lap, and then try and, you know, stay within that penalty range.
Got a lot of time to play with now. It's 6 laps remain now. The rest of the field is fairly spread out. We'll watch for fights to develop. It is unfortunate with 14 on grid that Eau Rouge took 3 out on the.
She's a mean one.
Lap. Leaves us. Race destroyed.
Hey, honestly, though, I mean, there's not that many corners on, well, at least on Calendar's current, that can say that they've claimed the lives of drivers. So, Eau Rouge is one to be respected, that's for sure.
That is, man, got dark on me. It's
a rough corner.
That's so dark. It is like I'm trying to think of a corner I feel is uncomfortable. Every time I approach Eau Rouge, I just don't feel settled in. And I'm trying to think of another corner that does that to me. I feel like
Something in
maybe
Saudi
Canada
Arabia,
comes to mind.
probably. Turn
Yeah,
14 or.
I mean, well, I mean, I love Jeddah.
Oh, so
I'm
Merck's
just
picked
ready
up
to go
another
have some
penalty
fun.
here. He's up to 6 seconds
I
of
think.
penalty time.
Oh, and he found, and after finding another, so he's
This
really got the hammer down, but he is picking up
this could be a
extra
fairy tale finish
time.
for De Boonster.
I think so. Boomster finishing on pole, keeping his nose clean, and really competitive compared to pretty much everybody but Merck here with the hammer down and fresh tires. Because he is catching 2 to 3 seconds per lap, or at least 2 seconds per lap, I think, on average. But picking up that extra time is really doing
Oh man,
Merck
I
in.
am glued to these interval times, just watching and watching.
I'm enjoying Merck's. I'm watching Merck's cockpit. The drive here is a special one. You can tell he's got the hammer down. It's setting purple sector after purple sector, and really wants this win. He's got a lot of
And
work
he's
to
really
get done.
basically putting in, he'll be doing qualifying laps from here on out.
He'll have to. And he'll need some help, I think, from Boonster's tires. They're aging, 12-lap-old mediums at the moment. So aging tires, and man, he can actually see Boonster ahead of him now. So there's going to be a little bit of extra
Yeah,
race
you
pace from
always,
seeing it
I'm
before.
always, as soon as I can start seeing the guy in front of me, it's that little extra oomph to kind of get you over the hump.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that
Yeah.
zeroing in effect, right?
And the opposite happens for the guy in front. You start to look back and that car is getting bigger and bigger and the pressure just starts piling on.
And so Merck finding a lot of time that lap. He is definitely going to be ahead on track. And Boonster helping him out. There it is, the pressure you were just talking about, getting to the Alfa Romeo driver, and he finds himself a 3-second penalty. Let's take a look at the penalty situation. 3 seconds now. So Boonster.
Yeah, I would say so,
Boonster
certainly.
in trouble now. Boonster in trouble. You know, can he put up enough of a fight? He needs to hold him back for at least a lap, and that's going to be tough to do in Spa. It's going to be tough to do in Spa.
Oh,
It's not like a silver.
we've got a
What
safety
happened?
car. No,
That
a
will-
virtual.
It is. Yeah, it is just a virtual. Have we lost another wing?
Yeah,
from
George
somebody?
Mazda guy.
Shashir trundling. Red Bull struggling.
So what does that
this
do?
evening. Couple.
That really shouldn't change much.
Well, yeah. So they'll stay equidistant, right? The VSC doesn't allow any delta shift. What it does do is it gives Boonster a little extra time. Oh, magic! Picking up the speeding penalty. That was a very, very short VSC, and man, Merck had the better drive under the VSC because he had a whole second made up time. It stalled the race up here at the front, but not.
And Tragic's night has just gone from bad to worse. He was leading the race at one point, and after his drive-through, is going to be maybe out of the points. We're close to it.
Yeah. from magic to tragic. More tragic than magic. It's unfortunate. And man, that drive-through is going to be, well, it's not going to be as painful as it could have been. There is a fair amount of field spread, but still. Only 3 laps remain. Now, up at the front, we have the battle we've been waiting for. Merck is right on top of Boonster. He needs to fight to keep Merck back. But man, just glued to the gearbox is the Haas. Okay, you can't get much more glued now. Side by side into pool home they go as we hold our breath. And a through on the inside line is the
You were you were wanting
man,
a side by side. It didn't come through Blanchimont, but it did come through Pouhon.
It's like, it's just one of those play. And man, Merck knows he still has work to do. He's got to find another 2 seconds. But at this point, with the tire advantage he has and the pace advantage, you've got to be betting on Merck.
Yep, he's already a second and a half in the matter of 3 corners ahead of Boonster, so it's not going to take much longer.
Man, Boonster is cursing that penalty he picked up. And he's got to race hard because Merck has picked up 6, so they're already watching him for that extra 3. This win could still come his way, but he's gonna have to force Merck to drive honestly if he wants to snake another penalty for the Haas. Meanwhile, again, Boonster does look like he's on his way to second place if the pace holds out the way it was, but it was still quite a showing.
Yeah, very good points haul for him tonight, and that's going to promote him in the driver's standings. And Komakopa also steady as she goes, coming in, looking like he might finish 3rd tonight. He's been Mr. Consistent, I would say, so far in this pro tier this season.
Yeah, right in there, that 3, 4, and 5, Coma, Shashir, Verstappen, they are finishing right where you expect them to be. The same, the distances between them have been just slowly growing. So it's Spain, but Spa again, the long track and the difficulty, it does tend to spread the field out. I mean, when you watch Singapore's, the races can get like this as well, where you just kind of spread things out. Merck just went into hyperdrive.
I think what you're seeing is that cliff on those old mediums for De Boonster starting to show itself.
Yeah.
Oh, and De Boonster in.
Coma has an Oh no, is there a puncture? I'm looking at the tires. They're looking really, really worn, but he's only got 2 laps left. Pitting is gonna see the 3rd and 4th, I believe. At least 3rd and 4th. Through his Coma, through his Shashir as well. Now those 2 are on the podium. That's Verstappen finds his way, and Boonster's gonna join in 5th. It must have been, those tires must have been just in the 80s or 90%. He must.
Or I wonder if he's maybe not familiar with and thought maybe he had to pit for another set of tires. That's the only reason I could see you pitting on the last lap, maybe.
No. It's tough. It's tough. He'll definitely. I think even if they weren't punctured, right, then I think you have to stay out.
Yeah.
In 2 laps, can you really lose 20 plus seconds? I don't think so. Right? You can lose 10 seconds on tires that have fallen off the cliff, but if they're still inflated, I don't think you lose as much time. So Boonster, man, 3.4. He might be able to claw his way back into fourth place, but I think the podium is out
Yeah, we'll
of
see.
reach at this point.
That's a heartbreak for Boonster.
Heartbreak for Boonster. He does have the same uh, penalty situation as Verstappen ahead, so 3.1 now, and it in only a lap and a half. It's a tall order. Maybe fifth place is where Boonster finds himself this evening. Ooh, we'll keep an eye on that. Let's head up and give the Haas driver some due. This is the final lap here in Spa. Merck driven carefully and consistently from the back of the field after an incident in qualifying set him all the way in the back of the grid. But our points leader here in Pro Tier showing why he currently has the most points.
Solidly ahead tonight and this season. Definitely one of my top picks of guys I think who's going to make it through to the elite tier at the end of this season.
Yeah, for sure. And he's already has a pretty decent points lead on the rest of the field now that Rujoff and Hayden are, already in the lead tier. But here tonight, 20 seconds ahead of the competition, and a pretty, all the way through the field to 20 seconds in the lead. That's a pretty strong showing.
Yep. Yeah, he's done a very good job tonight, and I think he's gonna look back on this race probably, and this is where he's gonna set the bar.
Yeah, Lee looked pretty unstoppable tonight, must be said. Nice job, Haas. Nice job, Merck. The win in the books. Comacopa into the line next, and doing a really good job to keep his nose completely clean. Comacopa grabs a second place. Let's go, Coma and McLaren. Shashir to the line next. He's going to be across the line. In third place, looks like Verstappen does hold on to fourth, with Boonster making up a fair amount of time, but just not enough race left to do anything. The natural will take sixth place. It does look, though, Tragic Magic is 0.3, and will he dive into the bus stop? You wouldn't think so. Just a little too far back, and man, they're pretty photo finish between.
Yeah, and Tragic going to take that place for penalties.
Here. Though, yeah, I was just about to point that out. The clean nose does pull off a lot of late passes, doesn't it? So, Dan King finds points. He's in 8th. Bonget finishes in 9th. And George Mazda rounds us out with a 10th place finish for Red Bull. And a fairly interesting one. And we saw new stuff from Boonster. He's bringing some new challenge and legitimately fast in Spa, I think. And Merck, a really good race back to front.
Yeah, that was super impressive throughout the changing weather conditions tonight. So hats off to Merck.
Yeah, that's right. We started in the rain. Eau Rouge, man, just taking drivers out right at the start. 3 drivers didn't get to participate at all because Eau Rouge was like, you gotta pay the toll. We might do. So good race from Merck, and looks like Shashir is gonna fall just a little bit behind Coma.
Yep, Comacopa getting some solid points tonight, coming home second. We thought third was on the table, but that late pit stop from De Boonster promoted Comacopa up to second. So that's quite a few podiums he's racking up.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, those are really if those
I want to
tires were
know.
really falling off the cliff, and he had 2.5 laps. Yeah, I want to go back, restart the race exactly the same distances, but have him stay out. I just want to see how the finish ends, right? Like, would he have fallen back into fifth place? It could be
Maybe.
closer than we think. I don't know. It's tough to say. Tough to say. A really good win from Merck. Congratulations, Haas. And for us, I think we will be back next Monday for one more pro tier, and then I think it's the break for both tiers until the big game
Yeah,
switch until
we'll be
2023.
here next Monday for Monza, so that's always a good race. Yeah, and then we're on our
Oh
new
man.
game hiatus, so for just a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let them work out the bugs.
I'm excited. They give me a chance to play through the story mode.
I never find my way.
Well, we'll have
to playing
time,
them,
you know?
Unfortunately, we always
We
think
ought
I'm
to
going
start
to.
a co-op career or something. Yeah,
Hey, can you do that?
Dresden
Oh,
and
man,
trackside.
maybe that'd be fun.
That's
I gotta get a
that's
wheel,
that's a
though.
team combination you
Yeah,
can't pass up.
Let's do it. But are we gonna drive for Mercedes?
Well, we could do
or
McLaren. It's if we get a McLaren, it's the best of both worlds because it's Mercedes powered, so we'll be okay.
Oh, all right. Well, man, compromise with you is easier than I thought. All right, guys, it was a pretty decent race. Congratulations, Merck, on the win, and Coma and Cheshire for the podiums, and Boonster for
Yep. Thanks
the
everybody
good
in the
show
chat
tonight.
for
We
stopping
enjoyed it.
by. Do us a favor, like and subscribe our content so that we can keep bringing you more and reach out to more people who are interested in racing. We're all having a great time and appreciate you coming by tonight. We'll see you next Monday. On behalf of Dresden, I've been trackside tonight. Keep living life to the checkered flag, and we'll see you soon, folks.
Do you want to know what it's like? How it feels behind the wheel. On the most exclusive asphalt in the world. 1,000 horsepower at your command. Speed like you've never known. Millimeters between fame and failure. Milliseconds between first and forgotten. Take a seat.